Let me go ahead and introduce our first speaker for the evening, Renée Taylor, the Vice President of the Board of Directors of SMUD. I met with Elizabeth Brinton today and just got reminded about how innovative SMUD has been for so long. Before sustainability was really even something we were talking about, they've been living it, breathing it. They've got 23% of their energy from renewables and really pushing that forward with everything they got. So please help me welcome Renee.
Good evening. It is a true pleasure to welcome you all to SMUD this evening. I didn't realize this is my first time attending your forum. Didn't realize you'd been here a few more times. I was speaking earlier saying, you know, next time we'll see if we can't help with a couple refreshments in the lobby or something, so that when you're mingling, you actually can be up mingling and getting to know each other. I think that's an important part of this whole process, is people working together, getting to know each other, and so I promise that I will help facilitate that next time. So I do hope you come back and use our facilities again. I have some prepared remarks that my staff very graciously put together for me. I did want to say that I have a couple staff members here tonight. Over here we have Bill Lane. And so when you have more technical questions later on, there's actually somebody here who probably will be better at answering them. I've been on the board of directors of SMUD for about 2.5 years. Did public relations as a career before that, and actually did public relations community outreach work citing power plants and a number of biomass power plants, renewable energy power plants. Made me slightly delusional that I knew something about the utility industry. You actually get here and you learn it's about a whole lot of stuff, and you were just talking about feed-in tariffs, you know, things like that that the average citizen's never even heard of. But it's fascinating, and what an incredible time to be involved in the energy industry, really. I mean, I feel fortunate every day because I'm learning so much, and it's the sweet spot in history where people get it. People understand that we can do things differently, and technology is catching up to where we are, and I just see the next 10 years as a very exciting time. I did want to say, we're just talking about feed-in tariffs. SMUD did, in our last rate action, come up with a feed-in tariff program, and we put out solicitations for a limited amount, just 100 megawatts, and in the first day that we opened bids, we were completely, way oversubscribed. There's a big market out there for people who want to generate their own electricity and have the ability to provide it back into the grid. And so it also provides or produces challenges for our utility to figure out how to manage those, because they're not our production, they're somebody else's production, but it's very exciting. And I do believe that the future is going to go to much more distributed generation, much more people with small power plants working together to put together the whole system. So that's that is exciting stuff. Now to the prepared notes, which you have up there. Okay, so I've said and on behalf of my full board of directors, a couple other members have heard about what you're doing and think it's very interesting, but I do want to welcome you to our facility. Okay, what do we have? Let me tell you first a little bit about SMUD. We have approximately 620,000 customers. I assume most of you here are from the region, so you know who we are. We serve about a 900 square mile service territory. We are a not-for-profit, community-owned utility. We have a 7-member board of directors, and we are elected by our members, residents of the community, which makes us a completely different business model than an investor-owned utility. And not being an investor-owned utility, we do not need to return profits to our investors. It allows us to operate very efficiently, and to the extent that there are profits, it allows us to provide lower rates to our customers. SMUD consistently is one of the lowest rate utilities in the state of California, and we're very proud of that, especially with our ability to have been so progressive over the years, and to still keep our rates low for our customers, because clearly that's what most of them want most. They want the lights to stay on, they want the rates low, and if we can do those things, and also be very progressive in other things, it's a challenge, but it's something we're very proud we've been able to do well. We've also been ranked, and over the last 8 years, we've been ranked top in California for customer satisfaction by J.D. Powers and Associates, and so that's something, as the Board of Directors, is a measure that we value enormously because it tells us that our customers think we're doing a good job. And that's really what it comes down to. Our vision, as it says up there, which was written before I was on the board, but I really like the tone of it. The vision is to empower our customers with solutions and options that increase energy efficiency, protect the environment, reduce global warming, and reduce the cost to serve our region. But to me, what I think is so important that we really look at it is our role to empower our customers, because really our customers are the ones who use electricity. And there's a lot of things that we can all work together to do that more efficiently. And so So in talking about sustainability tonight, I'm going to address 3 things, and I think we could probably address 15 things or 20 things that SMUD thinks and does around sustainability, but I'm going to focus on these things. Our smart meter, smart grid infrastructure, our renewable energy projects, and our new East Campus Operations Center, which is a project that we are pursuing right now. Okay, smart grid. I assume everybody in this room at least has heard something about smart grid and probably about the SMUD Smart Meter program. We, members of our staff and our board of directors, actually are in a pretty broad kind of community outreach effort to educate our community more about smart grid and smart meters right now. I do half-hour presentations just on this. So if anybody knows of a community group or something that would like more information on where we're going with our smart grid, smart meter program, please feel free to contact me or staff or something, and we would be glad to go out and do that. So I'll try to be a little more abbreviated tonight. Let's see, the transition to smart grid is going to be one of the biggest projects that SMUD has undertaken in our 64 years of providing service. We have received from the Department of Energy a stimulus grant, $127.5 million in stimulus funds, and a partnership with Sac State, Los Rios Community College District, and the Department of General Services downtown. Our board was already committed to moving forward on smart grid projects, and the first phase, which is really installing the meters in our customers, which is the enabling technology for so many of the things that will come from that. We've been committed to that, but the nearly $130 million grant really allows us to push much further, much more quickly, do some testing of different parts of the system, how electric vehicles will connect into the smart grid. We're really doing kind of a smart grid campus at Sac State, so we can really start testing how a geographical area could be used to work together with all of these different new technologies. So just chatting instead of reading the notes, find out where I am. But let me say a little bit about smart grid, because I don't really know how much people really understand. The utility industry moves very slowly, and the technology and the equipment that feeds most of the utility industry today is not much different than it was 100 years ago when we first started using electricity. We've been very slow to add new technologies to our system. And when I look at the potential of what could come to the electricity industry on a consumer level, I think it's going to be very much akin to what we saw over the last 10 years in banking, for instance. You know, it used to be that you had to actually go into a bank to do anything with your money. Today, if you're like me, it's all automatic. I don't know when it comes in, I don't know when it goes out. I've just programmed some things into my computer. My bills are paid. You know, somebody will send me an alert if my system, or if my checking account's getting low. Well, that's where I think the vision of what home energy use and business energy use is going. That we will, through the smart meter, and that we will be able to enable these technologies where people are going to, from their computer, from their desktop, be able to manage their home energy use. And a utility could send a signal to the home saying, we're in a critical peak position here, we're running out of energy, or we're not running out, but we're going to have to turn on some power plants that are less efficient and less clean, and we'd rather not do that. So let's send a signal to our customers and see if they will help us out. Well, instead of you having to go manually turn down your air conditioner, or even our customers made it clear that they don't really want us to have the ability to turn down your air conditioner. But you can clearly program into your computer that when that signal comes, here are the 5 appliances in my home that just automatically turn themselves down. And that's just a touch of the kind of technology that will really evolve, and it's at the very beginning. But it's going to be big. Because the likes of Google and Microsoft are out there, and they obviously are the people who really get how to turn computer software and computer applications into something very easy for consumers to embrace and enjoy, and they're working on it already. We've seen samples of what Microsoft and Google are both bringing to the utility industry. You know, it's something that we're going to have to work with because we don't really want to lose that relationship with our customers. We don't really want you to think that you get your power from Google. I think they would like that concept that they're, and so that's something we're working with, but we recognize it's the future. There's no way if we take on Google or Microsoft head-to-head that we're going to come up with a better software application. So we are actually partnering with Microsoft right now on a sample program, and that will be coming along. But that kind of information, some of it will begin to be rolled out as early as next summer. The information that you will receive through your smart meters will be, ultimately, will be real-time information. Today, a big problem is that you get your bill at the end of the month, so much of the energy use that you see reflected on your bill was 30 days previously. I've heard it compared to, us asking, all of our conservation and energy efficiency messages compared to basically asking somebody to follow the speed limit on the highway without a speedometer in their car. I mean, individuals have never really had a very good measurement of exactly how much power they're using at any given time, and so it's really hard to say, okay, we'll cut back. So what these smart meters will help us get to is enabling a technology where at any given moment you can see exactly how much power your house is using. And I actually had the opportunity to have in my home a little countertop home power monitor that was available through SMUD a couple of years ago as kind of a pilot project. And I got to tell you, my family still, after almost 2 years, will walk by and go, wow, why are we at 5.6? And somebody will go and see that there's 6 lights on and 2 TVs in the back of the house or something. So it's really just having that level of information, I think, has changed our family usage, and it's way overdue. It's just way overdue. And I really truly believe that just getting that much information is going to be very helpful. I'll come back to those at some point, or I might not. And so on the broader scale, the smart grid, it really is from power plant all the way down to your toaster. Yeah, I like this. I just think smart grid stuff is very interesting. The rest of it, I'll zoom through. But it really is going to advance the technology through the whole system. It's going to allow us to optimize our transmission lines, our distribution lines. We're going to have so much more information. Power is a little bit like, water spigot. You got to put enough in at one end to make sure there's enough coming out the other end. And we even just like a 2 or 3% greater efficiency in our whole system is about enough power to, of a medium-sized power plant. So if we could clean up our own system and make it super efficient, that's going to help us in that way. Okay, I probably zoomed through all of those smart grids. Let's see. We're going to talk about a couple other things, so let's see. Grid.
Tell me where you'd like me to
I
start.
sure will. And then, I think I talked enough about smart grid. Okay, so let's go on to renewable energy, and I think the slide's going to say renewable energy. Okay.
There we go.
Renewable energy. SMUD's obviously long been committed to renewable energy. We have, well, let me look at my notes here. This year will be the first large utility